Welcome back. September is National Deaf Awareness Month. Entrepreneur Zuko Mandlakazi has created a wrist armband designed to help people with a hearing impediment to react to life-threatening situations. He joins us now with more details. Zuko, thank you so much for joining us and for your time. What a fantastic invention. What inspired you to design this armband?
Thank you very much for having us here. What inspired me to come up with an idea, it was observing the difficulties that my own family member experienced while we were in the rural Eastern Cape. People were speaking about her like she wasn't there, but really the eureka moment happened when my aunt started visiting my cousins. In the flat they stayed in, I observed that it did not accommodate the situation, my aunt's situation. And then I started to look for a device that my aunt could use. I couldn't find any. And then when I couldn't find any, I started to look how other people's within the deaf community are experiencing life. And then I realized that there were millions other people with the same challenge as my aunt. Then that was the beginning of the journey.
Now, before we talk about the actual wristband, I know that you own a company called Sensor. Tell us a little bit about that. I know you're an entrepreneur, social entrepreneur at that. I mean, how difficult is it to do what you do, especially when you're leaning towards the technological area of things?
It's super difficult, extremely challenging, but I actually believe everything that we went through in getting to where we are today, it was necessary, right, in terms of testing my character as an entrepreneur. I learned a lot myself, and then, yeah, I became a better person. But really, the ecosystem in South Africa is really at its peak in terms of trying to, provide support that's required for technology-based solutions. If I could go on about the companies that are doing great work within the ecosystem, Red Bull being one of my favorites simply because they focus in the emotional and well-being of an entrepreneur. I mean, the reason they're my favorite is traditionally how we support entrepreneurs in South Africa. We give them a bag full of money and then, hey, go and sort yourself. So these guys, they usually focus into the wellness, the emotion. Sometimes when the headspace is incorrect of an entrepreneur, the resources could be wasted, right? And the deliveries and the milestones would never be met. But I'd also like to appreciate the Innovation Hub. Our early stage seed funding, it came through from the Innovation Hub as well as the SAP Foundation. This is actually the funding that took us from idea to proof of concept. Yeah, we've gone on to raise additional funding that took us from proof of concept to all the iterations that we've done. We've done about 12 iterations to get the product to where it is today.
Now, let's talk about the product. You said that it is to help in life-threatening situations. Tell us a little bit more about that. So if I had to get this wristband today for a family member or somebody from the public, what would it do?
We are in a business of helping the people who do not have the hearing sense. You know, we lose our hearing abilities through to a number of things. It could be meningitis, through to medical situations when a person was born, right? And there are many others. So some actually, they get to lose their hearing ability later on in life. The person is born with a hearing ability, and then through a situation, the person loses this. So yeah, these are the people who do not have the luxury that you and me have. The ability to hear and be alert with the stuff that's happening around us. Dogs, they rely on their noses. Humans, we rely with our ability to hear. So what we do now to those that do not have that ability to hear, we've created a solution. It's an alerting device. The job is actually to get the person to be alert to life-saving sounds. How it works is it's a device that works with 5 different wireless sensing units. Each sensor is about 5 franc cone size. It's in a different color. And then you pair a sensor with the device that you're wearing on your wrist. For example, you take a pink one, you put it next to the child. When the child makes the noise, the pink sensor located next to the child is going to transmit that sound to the receiver that you're wearing. The receiver is going to vibrate, and then the LED light is going to be pink. And then, yeah, the applications are quite broad. Door knock as well, forced entry sound in the kitchen, safety evacuation alarm, the most important one, because we've had a situation where 3 deaf kids died while they were sleeping, simply because they didn't hear the sound. Some, they jumped from the third floor to the ground, right? Because when they realized that the building was on fire, it was too late for them to exit the building using the stairs and all of these kind of things. I know one situation that really affected me when I read about it in the media. It was the child that sent a message to the mother. The kid was like, "Mom, I'm already dead." You know, we were in the heart of our R&D at the time. We were not able to do anything about that really. But I'm still observing that there's still no solution for this. And then, these are the main reasons we have been at it in the journey. We're looking forward to launch in order to make sure these kind of things don't ever happen again.
Now, I know you've talked about funding, you know, especially in technologies such as these life-saving technologies. How's your product doing currently? Have you tested it out in the market? And also, how can people, I mean, obviously people who are listening now, obtain it, and how do they make contact?
With the first question, it's really been a beautiful journey simply because what we did, I had my own perception about how the deaf community experience sounds, right? Just based on observing my own aunt and then having conversations with her. Then I took it out now to the people, to the families. So these families would give us their problems. We spent time with a family in Germiston. You know, I know the situation with that family is there's a kid who's 13 years old, and then the parents are both deaf. So now this kid is forever home. He can't play, he can't do anything. So really the dream for us as Sensor is actually to replace that kid. Get the family the device and then get that kid out there to play with other kids. Many situations, because we've worked with a lot of families, you know, simply because we did not want to prescribe the device. I mean, like all the devices that are out in the market, they are designed in that manner, right? So in our situation, we worked collaboratively with the deaf community. And from the first proof of concept to all the iterations that we've done, the people gave us the insight, and then each and every time we get the insight, we implement this in our product development. And then what's beautiful about that, when we started to conduct now these focus groups with countries outside South Africa, like Sweden, Switzerland, Germany, Austria, as well as Rwanda and Ghana, people were like, "Oh, this device is speaking to my problems." And it was encouraging, because one thing we learned through these now, when we took this part of the focus groups outside of South Africa, we learned that, you know, challenges faced by people within the deaf communities are universal.
Now, it's fantastic. So I know that there's many people like you, especially in the social entrepreneurship space, that are trying to make an impact, you know, in society when it comes to deaf awareness. I mean, just recently I participated in a silent walk at the Johannesburg, at Zoo Lake, Naima Foundation that created that walk. But how well aligned are you and some other organizations out there with Deaf SA so that you can make almost like a bigger impact? Because I feel like there are pockets of excellence, but we don't have, you know, this one galvanized support, you know, that would then help in the deaf community, you know, in terms of that awareness. Yeah.
So one of the things we've done, we recognize this from the early stages, that we are not going to be able to reach the impact that we want to achieve if we walk or we get into the journey alone. So particularly Deaf South Africa, the Gauteng regional offices, we've been working with that office from day one, from the beginning of the journey, as well as we've also been working. I went to Ghana, I've been to Rwanda, I've been to Austria and all of these other countries I listed earlier on. And then in each and every country I've been, we engage the deaf community, that federation that's responsible for the rights of deaf people within the deaf community. So one of the things we're really looking particularly for Africa now is to actually to collaborate these devices. If you cannot afford a once-off purchase of that device, then you can actually get the device and then do that payment arrangement with that particular organization.
Fantastic, Zuko Mandlakazi. Thank you so much, and congratulations on a job well done.